Today I want to go through some of my interior decor house item wish list, and for that I thought I would go into each of the rooms as and when I talk about them so I can show you where I want certain things to go. This wish list has accumulated over time, sort of mainly through random screenshots and random notes on my notes app as and when I see things. So I thought it would be a good time to organize my thoughts, really think about what I actually want to buy. I'm not making any purchases because I'm so overwhelmed by all of the things that are needed. Not needed. These are necessary things that I need. These are more necessary in like making the space a functioning home. It is very integral to this video that I introduce the sponsor, which is Millernote. If you don't already know about Millernote, it is essentially a tool for organizing your creative projects. It is designed to help you plan, brainstorm, and collaborate on your ideas. Last time I showed you how I use Millernote to plan my knit projects, from organizing my initial ideas all the way to turning it into a step-by-step project plan. However, Millernote can be applied to so many more creative projects. With over 100 built-in templates, it is perfect for any creative professional out there. Whether you're a filmmaker, illustrator, interior designer, or content creator, it is designed to help you organize your work. For example, I use the interior design product list template to help me organize my home wish list. I usually end up with so many ideas, random notes, and screenshots of products that I happen to see somewhere and that I like, but it just made me feel very overwhelmed recently. I find nothing helps me more than dumping everything in one place and properly organizing all of my thoughts. Let's jump into my board so I can show you exactly how I lay everything out. I've organized my project into several boards, one for each room that I want to buy my new things for. I also like to be a bit extra, so I designed these to be in these picture frames so it looks like a gallery wall. I started by gathering all of my visual inspiration from Pinterest boards and my screenshots to then match to my wish list. I found that organizing these references together made it so much easier for me to find the exact product links, which I can then add straight into my board. Millernote has lots of great features that make organizing so much easier. So let's go through the ones that I've used in my board. I start with a mood board, which I then use to kind of identify common themes, and then I type those into Google to try and find the actual products that I can purchase. As I do this, I then just drop the links into my board and I can then organize these. If I've collected a lot of links, I sometimes create two columns, one for favorites and one for maybes. And then this way I can move the links around whenever I find a new product that speaks to me more. It also kind of helps me backtrack my decision making. I found actually that some of my ideas I can't really buy new and I would need to source them secondhand. So make a note of whatever I need to keep an eye out in secondhand stores, vintage stores, which also then helps me whenever I randomly pop into like a charity shop or an antique store. I know exactly what to keep an eye out for. I've used the arrows to point out exactly what my note is referring to, and I also like to remove the pointer of these arrows to turn them into a straight line, which visually sort of divides each section. In case I ever need more general inspo references, I added a direct link to my Pinterest board in there as well. I just sometimes find all the searching, Googling, identifying themes makes me lose track of the broader, bigger picture. So I like to every now and again just go into my general themed Pinterest boards just to remind myself what I'm actually looking for. Here's another board that I created for another room where you can see all of the features that I mentioned previously. I also like to use the draw feature to just create more visual elements. I found for the Pinterest board links that was really helpful to give it a bit of background, because otherwise it kind of blends in with my product links and I wanted the Pinterest links to stand out a bit more. I also like to just add a little heart graphic for products that I'm pretty set on so I can keep track of things that I've pretty much decided I need to buy, and all that standing in the way of me owning it is me buying it. Another feature that I really love is their color feature. So you can add this in and you can choose a color to focus on. For example, with the kitchen ceiling lights, I in particular have been loving sort of like a maroony ceiling light. So I've added this color in because as I was looking for specific products, I kept forgetting that that's what I liked. And I constantly kept going back to my Pinterest board and then be like, oh, I've been looking at the completely wrong thing. So adding this color in there is really really, really good for me to just not get so distracted. There's also nothing I love more than a to-do list, and the Milanote one is really good because as you're ticking off your to-do list, it instantly grays them out, so it's very clear what you've achieved, what you haven't achieved. In this case, for the wall art section, I just kept track of the exact paintings that I need for each section, the exact types of framing projects that I wanted, just because they were more general and I don't have like one specific art piece that I want to purchase. They're just things that I want to keep an eye out for. So yeah, then when you're ready to share your work, you can invite anyone in your team or anyone you want to have a look at it to gather feedback and collaborate in real time. I could now share this board with Ryan so he can very clearly see my vision. He knows where my inspiration comes from, he knows what products I like, and he knows the exact intended use behind each of them. Plus, he can also leave comments so he can let me know his thoughts on any of them, whether he likes something more or really doesn't like something else. Finally, the most amazing thing about Milanote, hands down, is that it is available to use for free with no time limit. So use the link in my description to sign up for a Milanote account for free and get organizing. I promise you it is so fun, and we can now run through that wish list together, room by room. Welcome to my living room. We're going to start off in here with all the things that I want. There are many things that I want for this room. This is probably the room that we spend the most time in downstairs because I watch TV and I knit on there, so quite an important room to get right. Originally I thought this was the room that needed the least, but as I was organizing everything, it turns out this needs the most, so let's get into it. Start with what is happening behind me. I really want a cabinet, so what's currently there is a little filing cabinet, a lamp, the Wi-Fi is in that box, and a plant. It's not great. So what I am looking for instead is some kind of unit that I can actually use for storage. So whether that is like a wooden vintage unit, kind of mid-century vibe, or I do really like the filing cabinet. So I was thinking of maybe a bigger sort of metal chrome filing cabinet. I feel like there's already a lot of wood, a lot of mid-century going on in this room that I kind of want to break it up a little bit. So I'm very much leaning towards the vintage filing cabinet, but either way, I would have to source that secondhand. So that's something I'm going to keep an eye out when I'm going to the antique shops and stuff. It would be great if I found a filing cabinet. It would probably cost a lot of money. Alternatively, I'll just get some kind of wooden unit. Then above that, I want to cover this wall in some type of shelving. We've obviously got this shelf here for all of our books, some of our decoration pieces, but there's still some little bits that I need to display, mainly some of Ryan's toys. He has some Lego Super Mario stuff, collectibles, which I think would be really cute to display on a shelf. So I'm obviously thinking open shelving, floating shelf. I love this chrome glass situation, which is clearly like a vintage piece. So I would never find this exact one. This is just kind of some general inspo, which I'll again keep an eye out on Facebook Marketplace and sort of antique shops as well. Now, different view. I need a mirror because when I leave the house, I haven't got anywhere to check what I look like other than in the dining room, but the dining room mirror isn't full length. So I'm thinking maybe a somewhat full length, not like top to bottom type mirror, but somewhat of a longer mirror, either here, maybe like a little mirror here, or like some kind of little art piece. But I think before I leave the house, I can check what I look like in that mirror there. Again, I'm gonna keep an eye out for the secondhand. I don't think that's gonna be a struggle. I've seen many of these and I've had many chances to get one like these, but at the time it didn't really feel like a priority. But now that I've been getting ready more, leaving the house more, you know, going to the office, I have realized that it is actually a massive inconvenience. So gonna keep an eye out for that. Welcome to my sofa. Apart from the fact that I need artwork, I'm going to talk about this later on. I really need some wall lights behind here. One there, one there. I have lamps on that side, but I don't have any lights on here, and the room is really imbalanced. You can see how dark it is. I'd love to film more stuff of me on the sofa, but it's just so bland. It's so dark. It has absolutely zero dimension, so I need some wall lights. This has been hard, really, really hard. No matter what I looked at, whether that is on Pinterest or on actual products itself, I cannot figure out what I like and what I want. So I think this is gonna take some time for me to find the right wall light, because even if I like an inspo photo on my Pinterest boards or other things, I don't actually like the lights itself. So yeah, I haven't figured out at all what I want. I do like this mid-century type chrome lamp, but I don't want to overdo it with the chrome. I still want it to be kind of cozy and warm and inviting, so not too sure. And we pan down to our floors. I desperately need a rug. This is tricky. I spoke about this previously. All of our rooms are cut diagonally, so you come in from the door there, but you're going there, so you're constantly crossing the rug. For a long time I thought I wouldn't get a rug, but this room desperately needs it. It needs texture, it needs color, it needs some warmth, it needs some comfort, and our floors in this room are horrendous. I really think this is going to be something that's going to bug me the longer I stare at it, and like I said, I spend a lot of time sitting here looking at this floor, so I need to cover it up. Rugs are tricky, aren't they? They are so expensive and they are so big that committing to one seems impossible. I think I'm gonna have to mock this up on SketchUp and add different designs into my living room on SketchUp to see kind of the colors that I like. And yeah, I don't know. I think it's good that I haven't got any artwork yet. I think if I, you know, commit to a rug, then I can match everything else to that. But I currently am feeling warm tones, sort of simple geometric shapes, maybe some stripes. I do really like sort of a Oriental Turkish style rug as well. I don't think I'll go for anything too muted because the room's already super muted. There's just a lot of beige, brown-ish tones, nothing that has like that oomph, you know? So I think a rug would be a good way to integrate this. I think this is actually quite an important thing that I should be getting soon, but the commitment is just, it's scary. Welcome to my kitchen. This needs a lot of work, mainly to do with lighting. I haven't actually turned the big lights on because they are shocking and horrible and I hate them, and they are so intense for no reason. So first thing that we need is new ceiling lights. For that I'm very much leaning towards pendants. We have 3 ceiling outlets. I think I'll go for 3 pendants that I can drop a bit lower so they don't create such horrible harsh shadows. I also like the idea of pulling the middle pendant further this way so it hangs more above the sink. I think that'll also help the shadow situation out here. If this goes a bit more here, these are more here. I like the idea of a maroon, but equally I don't know whether I should go for like a glass type light which will diffuse the light more rather than make it really directional, because that I think is the problem at the moment, is that the lights are too intense, they're too like directional, you know? So that is a big must purchase. I also just need more lamps. I recently purchased this mushroom type lamp. I haven't put the batteries in yet. This is from Sustrine Green. It's annoying because I have to turn the light switch down here, so I constantly have to pick it up, but I haven't got enough outlets in this kitchen to justify buying more like plug-in lamps, so I'm looking for battery operated lamps for now, and then maybe in the future I can think about my plug situation. But yeah, I need more lamps. I need a lamp on this side as well because I'm cooking here. It's just the vibes are off. Whenever I'm in here I have to turn on the big light and it aggravates me. The shadows it creates, I can't even begin to describe how annoying they are. Then this is very area specific, but I want to put a shelf here. Previously there was a wall cupboard unit here, but it really just blocked the light coming from this window, so we put this extractor fan in. But I need to have more of a storage solution for our fruit, our like onions. I want to keep eggs out of the way. I want to have a little shelf so I can put my Alexa up here. I want to maybe display some more things. This all sounds like a lot that I want to cover in this little space, and this has been my problem. The shelf that I'm looking for has to be really multifunctional, and it just doesn't seem to exist, this magical shelf. I want the shelf to include some hooks. I might even be able to add these hooks on myself, so I can add some baskets for hanging storage so I can put our fruit and our veg in there. But then I also want the shelving obviously to display my stuff. So I actually did buy this shelf in the end. I did it very sporadically as I was in store, not thinking I should maybe measure the space beforehand, and it turns out to be way too big. I'm essentially looking for this shelf but less than half the size, which I don't know if that exists. I probably will have to settle for something in the end, but I'm still not happy with the choices that I have. Welcome to my bedroom. This seems weirdly ominous filming like this. Right, things I need for my bedroom. This situation over here isn't working. It looks cute on camera. It's not functional at all because when I'm laying here, I have to physically drag the lamp down to turn it off because it's so high. So there's two options, two ways I could go about this. First one is I purchase a stool and I put the lamp on the stool and keep all my little things on the stool rather than up on there. That would mean shifting the bed this way, which would make things awkward with opening the door. So I don't know if that's the best way to go about things. Obviously the other option is to just swap sides, so this goes in there and we move the bed this way. I think that's just an option I have to try out. Probably the easier thing is for me to just get a clip-on side light, and the one that I'm really obsessed with is this Hay one. I love, again, the maroon color. I'm obsessed with anything red, and I could then clip that onto the wooden bed frame there, and I could retire this lamp and put it somewhere else. Probably that is the better option. I don't know why I'm not just buying the light. I've saved this for such a long time. There's some alternative lights that I've seen as well that I do like the look of. The side lamp option right now makes the most sense. I very randomly have wanted a little mantle shelf here. For a time I had an IKEA unit standing here just to put it out of the way. I think I was trying to get rid of it or something, but it was here and I really liked sort of the height that it was at to put things on, maybe lean like an artwork on there, some candles. I don't really know. I just really liked it. So I've been looking at just some very basic picture rails that I can put on here once this is painted and plastered and stuff like that. Very random, not super high on our priority list. Also don't know how functional it is because we kind of walk into the room, so I don't want to like get caught on it. I think it would be cute, so keep that in mind. We are back in our initial setup just because I want to talk about my wall art specific wish list as well. This is less so about specific items that I want to purchase, but more a list of places and types of artwork that I want in those places. Organize them into paintings, framings, and anything else. So for paintings, I want a massive, large canvas piece behind the dining table. We have a massive wall. There's nothing else that I can put there. Opposite is this mirror, and as you can see, the mirror reflects nothing. So I think it would be really nice to have a big art piece, almost like to the floor, that can also then be reflected in the mirror. Obviously, I already mentioned I want artwork in the living room as well. I'm thinking a big piece over the sofa and then also a big piece next to the sofa as well. Whether they're matching, clashing, complementing, I have no idea yet. And also then the painting above the sofa can sit in between the wall lights that I'll hopefully one day purchase. Then I also really want a painting above the bed. I think a medium size for this is fine. I always thought I'd also wanted that massive, but I quite like the idea of it being on the smaller side, not tiny, but just like a nice medium size painting. And then in terms of framing, I really want to make a collage frame with all of the things that I found during the reno. Found some really cute pieces, obviously from the previous owners. Mainly things that were found as we ripped off the skirting, because obviously things sort of slip behind a sofa or behind a bed between the skirting. So I want to make a nice collage for that. Not sure where I'll put that, but I think it could go anywhere really. I also really like the idea of framing your favorite book passage. I still haven't decided on that one, but I think that would be really cool. We also stayed at a hotel this weekend and they framed a whole book, which I thought was so cool. I mean, we're already displaying a lot of our books anyways, but if we were to frame like one specific book, that would be really cool. Then for the other things, I want a corkboard in my office. I'm probably going to put it above the radiator, a massive corkboard. That would just be used for mood boarding, keeping random tags, receipts, knit swatches, anything and everything I want on this corkboard. I also would like to display or make more crochet tapestries. I love when people put tapestries over a door, like an entryway. I think that could be really fun. And also when people hang rugs and tapestries, like massive ones, and use them as art pieces. Not 100% sure where I would do that, where I'd have space, but I think that's a really cool way to, display tapestries, rugs on a wall, because so many times we cover them up, but they are so gorgeous to look at. Then last thing, which I would love to be in that scene for you to really, set the scene, but it's freezing out there and it's getting dark. But it is the garden stuff, which I knew we'd have to deal with eventually, but as it's starting to get warmer out, I'm stressing now because our garden is not great. Like, it's fine, but it's not beautiful. I've sort of started to collect things that I want to get for the garden. One of the main things I want is I want to hang these fairy lights to create more light, because it's pitch black out there, and I feel like the ground floor lights don't really do much. I don't care if fairy lights are like millennial core. I love these fairy lights to create like a fairy light sky, so I'm definitely gonna purchase those. The whole garden furniture situation is a bit more awkward. Garden furniture is so expensive. For what? Literally for what? I in particular love the striped sort of garden furniture. I saved a few, but I have been looking on Facebook Marketplace, and I think I'm just gonna get a secondhand couch, and then I'm gonna sew my own covers, because this shit's so expensive for no reason. So that is my approach at the moment. There's so much good gardener furniture on Facebook Marketplace, so I highly doubt I'll even buy anything new for the garden. I just feel like things get so weathered and rugged after like a couple summers, so what's the point in spending grands, literally grands, on garden furniture? But yeah, that is everything I want to say. I've definitely got a few products that I think I'm ready to purchase as and when I'm ready to make that commitment. I think that's my main issue, really, is the commitment of purchasing things. In the future, I'm definitely going to organize my thoughts more like this, so I'm not wasting so much time Googling bedside table lamps on like 10 different occasions and just forgetting exactly what I liked and what I didn't like. So I'll just keep track of it right from the beginning. I just don't want to waste so much time looking at stuff anymore. It's boring. It's boring and it's overwhelming, so I'm not doing that anymore. I hope this was interesting. I hope this gave you some inspo. Thank you as always for watching, and hopefully I will see you next time. Goodbye.